All right, guys, I want to thank you for coming back for another video. Today's going to be a car video. You guys have not seen a car video in quite a long time. So today, I'm going to bring you a car video of a new purchase I just made. This is not the car video I wanted to make, but nonetheless, I got a new vehicle, or we got a new vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and release this to you guys, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story. All right, guys, here she is. Again, this is not the car video I wanted to bring you. I wanted to bring you a really cool sports car, but you know, things happen in life, and my wife was giving me a hard time about my next car purchase and said, hey, you've already had 6 cars. For every 1 car I have, I think it's time for you to upgrade me. So here we are. Here is my wife's upgrade. I had a 2014 Q50 back when they first came out, back when this body style was first released. Had a 3.7, absolutely loved it. I actually came from a G37X sedan before that. I've had a lot of Infiniti and Nissan products, but my wife loved that Q50 so much. She was so upset when I got rid of that, and she's like, you know, I want to have a Q50. I want to have a Q50. The market is good for selling, so we made some decent money on selling the Escape, and I've hated that Escape since day one. It is like a rolling vagina on wheels, so I just really hated driving that thing. So the purchase made it a little bit easier, and we saw like a billion of those things in that same color, so it just made sense to get rid of that. So my wife wanted to look at a Q50. I didn't know how serious she was about it. You know, she's been driving me a little bit crazy about it, but it turns out she was pretty serious. So you know, I found her a good car, and we made the deal happen. So we went up to Infiniti of Westchester to go look at a car. She found a really nice Lux that was in a, I forget what the color they called it, like a chocolate or a mocha or something like that. It was a really cool brown color with a little bit of flake. I really did like the Lux. It was a nice car, but it just didn't have enough, I don't know the word, it just didn't have enough for me. If I'm spending that kind of money, it wasn't a base model, but it didn't have the packages that I would want for that kind of money. So I told my wife, let's spend a little bit more money. I like the looks of the Lux better, I like the interior of the Lux better, but let's see if we can find a Sport. So it just so happens that I found this Sport sitting on the lot, hidden a little bit. So this is a 2019 Sport. We actually went up to look at a 2019 Lux. It had 46,000 miles. Deal was pretty decent for it, but this was $5 grand more, I want to say. So this is actually a 2019 Sport, and this only had 15,000 miles on it. The nice part about this was actually a demo car that the manager must have drove, and they didn't actually sell this car till like the end of 2020. So the warranty didn't start till the end of 2020. So I have pretty ridiculous balance of CPO warranty on this, which is a plus. So obviously 15,000 miles to 46,000 miles, 15,000 miles makes more sense. Plus I get all the Sport upgrades. So again, I'm not as fond on the interior of the Sport, other than the seats. Obviously I love the seats, but I'm not as fond on the interior of the Sports as I was the Lux. I did like the wood grain on the Lux. I like the lighter interior, but it's a Sport. So the most important upgrades of the Sport, obviously you're going to get the 19-inch wheels, which that is a nice upgrade. The new wheels on the newer ones aren't too bad, but you know, 19s are nice. Brembos, that's what I like. I don't know if you're going to be able to see them in there too good, but this thing's got Brembos. To me, that's a nice added benefit. Again, Brembos on the rear, so 4-wheel Brembos is nice. You have the, I think all the models now actually have the Sport type front fascia, or that extra lip area. I want to say in all the newer models too, they have the rear diffusers. I I want to say at one point maybe that was a sport thing, but I think they all have the rear diffusers now. Another upgrade of the Sport Releases package that we picked. You see it's got the sonar on the back, and you should see camera right there and some sonar sensors on the front. So this was very important to me. Again, if I'm going to spend the money, I wanted to have the upgrade, so we got the bird's eye view and the full sonar. One thing you're going to see here is obviously now everything is a 3.0T. No more 3.7. I loved my 3.7, but after I got this, I had no idea of what a thing the 3.0T is. So the VR30DDTT, this must be like a Japanese car tuner's dream, because these guys are making silly power out of these things. These are rated at 300 horsepower, like 296 torque, and I'm seeing these cars were underrated. They're like the old school Terminators. They make like to the wheels what they were rated for, so that's already a good thing. You put a tune on these things and you're making like 400 and change wheel horsepower. So these things respond to mods pretty silly. I'm seeing guys making 450, 500, 600 wheel out of these things with like pretty simple bolt-ons and tunes. So I know what you guys are gonna say. You guys that know I already got this, you're saying ruin it for your wife. I am very tempted on ruining this for my wife. I don't know, man. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. She keeps on getting pissed at me and say stop watching videos on YouTube of guys racing Q50s and Q60s, but I don't know, man. It's very tempting. Even more tempting is you're gonna see that piece of shit Mazda Speed 3 back there. My son's having all kinds of problems with that. I'm telling him just to dump it, get something new. He's actually considering getting a Q60. So we may get him a Q60, and that may give me something fun to fuck around with and just let him fund it. And then just I'll get to build it and play around with it. So that is nice. You're gonna see all-wheel drive. I'm a sucker for all-wheel drive cars. I don't mess around with rear-wheel drive stuff. I mean, I do, but just for toys. For an everyday car, places we get snow, gotta have all-wheel drive. Other than that, everything is, you know, typical Q50. I did get the all-weather package. It's got technology packages. We'll go ahead and go inside here, and you're gonna see this was the big thing that I wanted the Sport for. So the one thing I regret not getting on my other Q50 and my G37 was the Sport package. Just the seats. Again, I like having those thigh bolsters. It reminds me of the old M-Series seats, M-Series Sport seats. You get the nice perforation in the middle instead of just the plain leather. And this does actually have adjustable bolsters. So you're not going to be able to see it in the video here, but these bolsters actually move in and out and hug you more. I had that in my old Mark III Supra. I loved it. It was a great addition. And you're going to see another thing I wanted. Again, if I'm spending this kind of money, I wanted some of the safety and convenience package stuff. So you're going to see right here, this is actually the blind spot monitoring. Instead of putting it in the mirror like most manufacturers do, that it lights up here. I don't know if I like that or I don't like that yet. I don't think that these are quite bright enough, but I do have the blind spot monitoring. It has the forward collision detection, so that is nice. Again, we got a little bit of safety for my wife. Again, back seats, same thing with the sport seats and the perforations. Everything's nice. I want to say that the back seats are heated. Maybe I saw something on the dash that makes me think that the back seats are heated, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Another upgrade that I got was the Bose Performance Series sound system. It's a 16 speaker sound system. So if you can see, it's got a couple speakers in the deck, got a couple speakers in the rear doors, front doors, dash, all that. I'm not gonna say I'm completely sold on the sound quality of the Bose system. Typically I like the Bose systems. Typically they have a lot of bass. I will say this is pretty clear and it'll get pretty loud, but it doesn't give that, again, that you know, it doesn't give that kick in the dick with the bass. but you know, it's pretty nice. Another upgrade we got, again, these are all things, some of these things are what I had just in my premium package of my Q50, but it has the electronic adjust steering wheel, and when you get out, the steering wheel goes up, seat goes back. You can set the multiple memory settings for that. I like having that. The other Q50 she went to go look at was a manual steering wheel. I know, first world problems, but again, if you're spending a decent amount of money, I don't want to step backwards in technology. My Escape was titanium, so it did have a good, I mean, it had every option. I'm not gonna, every single option that titanium had. So I don't want to go from a few year older Ford to a newer Infiniti and lose functionality, especially when I'm spending the kind of money that I spent on this. So that is pretty much it for packages. So we're going to get onto the things that I don't like about this package. So again, I had this car in 2014. So to me, I never liked this, whatever they were going for with this plastic shit. I don't know if it was supposed to be faux carbon fiber or what, but I've hated this since day one on my other one. I still hate this. The new Lux series, at least they put actual wood that's you know, laminated, it's nice and shiny, like it's burl wood. So I would have liked to have seen some kind of like black burl wood in this thing. That would have completed the look on these instead of this chintzy shit that they use here. I don't know that the regular, you know, brown burl wood would look good in this, but man, a black burl wood or some kind of dry carbon like they put in the Q60s, something like that would have been nice. But again, this always felt cheap to me. The aluminum over the speakers, that is nice. I wish they kind of did that in the back as well, but they didn't. I kind of wish they did something different here, you know, maybe aluminum. Honestly, even aluminum for this stuff would have been nice. You wouldn't have had as different of a contrast between this and aluminum, but again, they could have done something different. The other thing I don't like, oh yeah, we got paddle shifters. I'm kind of a little bit upset about these paddle shifters because the Q50s used to have the aluminum paddle shifters that were actually on the steering column, that they stayed put instead of these plastic ones that go with the steering wheel. I don't know why or when they changed that, or if that was only a Red Sport thing, but you know, I wish it had the nice big paddle shifters like they used to have. The other thing I'm not too hot on, they didn't really change anything in this car. Everything is the same. I mean, the steering wheel is a little bit different. It's not bad. I would have appreciated a perforated steering wheel here. I want to say for some reason I thought my other one had perforations, at least on the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock area, but it has been so long I don't remember. But otherwise, nothing in the interior changed. More importantly, this never changed. This, from day one, again, I remember there being class action lawsuits, and I actually got a check from Infiniti about this whole infotainment debacle. This is still just as bad as it was in 2014. They never changed it. It's not really fabulous. Yeah, it was cool. It was like the hot new thing that had 2 screens, but it didn't need to have 2 screens. And certainly in 2019, 2020, 21, 22, whatever, it still doesn't need to have 2 screens. They could have done this a lot cooler like my Ram and did that 12-inch, you know, 12-inch portrait mode screen in the middle, like the Tesla screen. So the infotainment system is still just as blah, it's just as slow. It is very unintuitive, and I actually almost didn't want to buy this because of that. I told my wife, hey, let's go look at some BMWs. Let's go look at, you know, maybe some Volvos or something like that and see what else you can get for the money. She didn't want to do it. Wanted a Q50, so we got the damn Q50. I'm okay with it because it's got a pretty cool platform. But, you know, again, there are some things that Infiniti could have done different. So I see a lot of guys swapping out these units for the, again, Tesla units. They're Android based. I don't know if I want to get into that kind of headache, but this is not intuitive. My wife almost had a breakdown yesterday trying to figure out the navigation to go pick up my son, which is, you know, a good 1.5 hour, 2-hour drive. I had to try and FaceTime with her and figure out how to set the stuff. That it's just not intuitive. So I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm a network engineer by trade. If I find something not intuitive, you know, a regular person that is of, I hate to say this, average intelligence, or somebody not tech, let me say somebody not tech friendly. If somebody not tech friendly they're not going to find this very intuitive. So again, if you guys have never seen, let's see if we can get this thing fired up. If you've never seen the InTouch system before, I'm gonna have to shut down the radio. All right, volume's off. If you've never seen the InTouch system before, again, this is kind of Let me see here. So the bottom screen is going to be for the actual infotainment, changing settings in the car, and the top one is for navigation. Takes a while for it to boot up. I want to say it takes like a minute for everything to load. Again, these were all day one problems from Q50s when they first came out, and all these years later they still kind of haven't figured it out. So now I just loaded, it was, I don't know, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, something like that. Got your climate features. Again, it was always cool to show the climate up on the screen. I don't know why the fuck the AC is on. It's winter time. This is why I think the rear seats are heated, maybe, because you do have your individual settings for the front seats. You can see off and off right now, but it has this, it says dual, so I think that actually heats the back seats. Obviously, steering wheel heater. This was one of the first cars to do a steering wheel heater. Infiniti was actually the first company to do this, the bird's eye view. So again, this was an important thing for me. Again, look how archaic this looks. It just looks like they haven't really done anything great with this over the years. But Infiniti was actually the designer of this bird eye view and you can change the views here. You can change it to see where your wheels are so you don't hit the curbs. My wife should my wife should need that. And then you can do, let's see what else we got here, just a rear view. That's actually nice that it pans out that far, and then you change it back to that. I guess that is okay, so that's actually for the rear collision detection. That's good to have. Go ahead and put it back in park. You can see on the screen again, that hasn't changed much in the middle. It's getting pretty good fuel economy. So my wife's been driving a little bit, my wife's been driving a little bit quicker, and she did a trip out to pick up my son. It was mostly highway yesterday. She got 24.2 miles a gallon. I'm sure she was probably cooking around 80-ish, so that's not that bad, considering, you know, the power of the car. You see we put a little bit of mileage on the car. We're at 16,219, so she's been driving it. You're gonna see all the driving aids there. I don't really know why they have a screen for the driving aids, but a little redundant. Tire pressures, engine oil, blah 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 blah. So again, these screens really haven't changed too much over the years. Again, typical sunroof. They don't really have panoramic sunroofs, don't know why. Again, just things that they have not really changed over the years. All right, we're going to the trunk and see this, you know, really cool trunk, right? From what I remember hating this trunk for some reason when I had it before. I don't know if it was the amount that the window came back and just the opening. For some reason, I feel like I hated this trunk when I had my other one, that it was hard to get things in and out of, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but for some reason, I feel like I remember that. The old Q50s did not have the rear seat that went down. It just had that ski rack or ski exit thing. So now you're going to see back seats, both back seats actually go down. I think that's standard now, and they do have that ski rack. For some reason, I didn't get the cool net that came. My other one had a net that came with this. I haven't actually looked in the trunk yet to see if it's stored anywhere. I don't think that these actually come with a spare tire. I don't think that was a standard thing. I think if you wanted a spare tire, you had to actually pay for it, which again is weird, but I guess places are getting away from that. Again, I got the all-weather package. I got the nice rear mat, and I put the rubber mats in up front. So we still have the cloth mats back here. I'm probably going to buy a net because I did really enjoy having that net, and we don't have that. So the thing I know all my faithful followers want to see is the engine. So you got your V6 twin turbo. Again, guys, this is a 3-liter twin turbo car. It's rated at 300 horsepower and 98 foot-pounds of torque. Don't quote me on that, something around there. this is a pretty stout little motor. I don't know that it's ever going to have the reliability of the 3.7s or the 3.5s, but again, this thing boogies. Doesn't sound quite as cool as the 3.7s and 3.5s, but again, the thing kind of boogies. So we overlook some of these things. So again, this is a pretty stout little motor. Guys doing simple upgrades to these things, making tons and tons of power. Again, you know, it's not all that uncommon for a tune, intakes, and heat exchanger. So it actually has 2 water to air intercooler heat exchangers up top, doing that stuff. And this guy's making 450 plus to the wheels, so they're actually pretty silly. One thing I think these things are common for are water pumps though. So this thing actually had a water pump done right before we got it. So 15,000 miles, this thing already had a water pump done. I don't know how I feel about that, but I got a warranty for quite a few years on this thing and unlimited mileage, so I am cool with that. But that is the power plant, in case you guys have never seen it before. Again, front end is pretty similar to how they've always been. This is what I've always liked about these cars. So again, I bitch and complain that it's kind of old and archaic many years down the line now, but this was one of those cars, out of all the cars that I had, this car always made me look back at it in the parking lot. I had a Hagani blue one. If you guys have ever seen that before, if you followed me on Facebook or Instagram, you've probably seen pictures of it when I had it. But this was just always that car that whenever I parked it, I looked back at it because it looked so great. And I still think it looks really great, despite all the old technology and just Nissan/Infiniti just not making any effort to make this any better. It's still a hell of a car though. You know, you can't really argue with that front end. You know, that's it though. That's it. So basically, I know I rambled a lot. You guys probably didn't want to come and see a video on a Q50, but that's how it goes sometimes. So I have been looking for cars. I haven't been telling you guys, at least the guys I don't talk to regularly. The guys I talk to regularly, you already know what I've been doing. I've been looking at cars. I've been looking at 911s. I looked at quite a few 911s. The prices are just nuts on everything right now, and I'm waiting for the market to correct itself. Realistically, I dropped my budget a lot, like a lot. I was looking to spend like 75, 80 grand for my next car, my next toy car, and then I realized I have all these other things. I'm not going to drive it as much, so it just didn't make sense for me to spend that kind of money. So I kind of dropped my budget quite a bit, at least in half. So I started looking at some older 911s. Just people want dumb money for these things, and they're trash. They're all trash. The other option I had was looking at C6s, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually almost bought 3 different C6s in a weekend. I had 3 deals go bad on. I had a stack of cash to buy cars, and I had deals, and the guys just flaked on me last minute. Didn't want to sell the car, decided they wanted to up the price, or one of them was pretty let's say had an issue with the Carfax that I wasn't comfortable with, but it was still a pretty goddamn good deal. But I just, at the end of the day, I couldn't do it because I know I wouldn't sell it. I wouldn't be able to sell it. So I had 3 deals on C6s go bad. So I was this close to buying a freaking C6 a couple weeks ago. I got pissed off with the way that people do business, and I just put the money back in the bank and said, I don't need to blow a lot of money right now. Springtime is here. The boat's going to be coming out soon, so I was like, whatever, you know, I got a boat to hold me over, got this thing to hold me over for a little bit. I am going to be getting something. I don't know what it is going to be or when it's going to be, but I just figured that was the world telling me not to buy another car right now. I actually just left my job that I started 8 months ago, 9 months ago, something like that, and actually started another new job. So we're gonna see. I may give it a little bit more time, make sure the job is gonna be steady and solid and I like it before I go and blow a lot of money, and you know, maybe I'll bump my budget back up. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm always in a constant state of ideas and confusion. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. But I digress. I've talked a lot, like always. But I want to thank you guys for coming back for another video. If you guys want to get engaged in the comments, please let me know. Do you like the new car? Should I have gotten something different? I guess it doesn't matter because this is what my wife wanted. I tried, she didn't want nothing to do with it. She had to have her Q50. So if you guys enjoy it, let me know. If you don't enjoy it, let me know. Please check out some of my other videos. I know I've been rather quiet lately. Just work, you know, life, just studying all the time. That's all I've been doing. So I'm going to start ramping up some videos as I have things. I'm going to be doing more product reviews than car stuff, just because I haven't really had anything interesting car stuff. So just keep in touch. Let me know what you guys think, if you have any ideas for some videos. Otherwise, we'll catch you on the next one. You'll be seeing, like I said, a little bit more product review videos. But keep an eye on the channel. You never know when you're going to see the next car video.